Welcome back to The Rustic Wife. I'm Alana. So my daughter has a friend over tonight and they've put a tent up in the backyard and they're going to spend the night out there. So I thought I would make them some chocolate chip cookies and take them down to the tent. So I'm bringing you along so I can show you the recipe that I use, and then also I'm going to scare them. So I'm going to wait until it gets dark. I already told them I was thinking of scaring them, and the reason I did that is because I want to do a mock scare and then do a double back later and scare the bejesus out of them. I remember when we would sleep in the backyard and my dad would come out and scare us, and that was the highlight of the camp out. So I thought I'd do that for Isabel and Lily. So there'll probably be a lot of hollering going on, but it's worth it. So I'm going to bring you along and we're going to start on those chocolate chip cookies. The recipe that I used was given to me by some friends in a nearby Amish community, and I've whittled it down because their recipe makes about 8 dozen cookies. So this one makes about 2. So feel free to double if you want, or triple if you have a large family, but I find that 2 dozen is generally enough. The ingredients that you're going to need to make these cookies is a 1/2 cup of softened butter. I have salted, but you can use unsalted. A 1/2 cup of vegetable shortening. You can use all butter if you like, but I just find that when I use half and half, the cookies stay soft longer. And then I have 1 cup of brown sugar, 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, 2 cups of all-purpose flour plus 2 tablespoons. I have 2 eggs at room temperature, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. I have 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And the secret ingredient here is Jello instant pudding. I find that adding this, probably because there's so many preservatives in the pudding, that it makes the cookies stay soft and they'll stay fresh for a couple of days. And I also have about 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Now I didn't have enough chocolate chips, so I broke up some dark chocolate pieces, and that'll taste just fine. And then I also have a few chocolate chips left over just to put on the top of the dough balls. So we'll get to making these. Also, I'm going to use my stand mixer with the paddle attachment. You can just use a bowl and a hand mixer, or a bowl and a wooden spoon to beat your butters and your sugars. But it's 8:30 in the evening and I just want to get these cookies made so I can go down and scare these girls. So I'm going to use my KitchenAid mixer for this. I just beat the softened butter and shortening together, and then I'm just going to add the sugars. Just add them all at once. I'm going to beat that together until it's fluffy. You might have to scrape down the sides of the bowl with a rubber spatula once or twice, but just beat this until it's fluffy. And this box of pudding is 102 grams, so I use the whole box and then beat that until it's combined. Scrape down the bowl and then beat again until it's fluffy. Next, add the 2 eggs and your vanilla and beat until combined again. And then your mixture should look like that, light and fluffy. Next, I like to add the baking soda to the flour and the salt, and then just give it a stir before I add it to the butter sugar mixture. I just add all the flour all at once, mixed until it's combined. And then I want to add the chocolate chips. You can add however many you want in there. Sometimes I don't like too many, but I'll just mix it just to see what it's going to look like. Yeah, I'll add the rest here. I just mixed in all the chocolate chips and the chocolate pieces, and then there's no need to chill this dough. You can actually just portion it out onto your baking sheet. I also forgot to mention that I preheated the oven to 375, and I covered a baking sheet with parchment. So now I'll just divide the dough out onto the sheet. This usually makes about 2 dozen cookies. Now I just use a cookie scoop. I got this for 99 cents at a thrift store, but you can use a spoon. And I probably use about, I think that's about a tablespoon. And I heap it. So, about that much. About like that. So I left about 3 or 4 inches of space between the dough balls, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate the tops with some chocolate chips just so that they look like they came from a bakery or maybe from a magazine because it's gotta look good. Even though they taste good, it's gotta look good. So that's what they look like. I'm gonna put them in the oven for about anywhere between 9 to 11 minutes. And because oven temperatures vary, just check them at 9 minutes. You want the top to look like it's kind of under baked, but the edges should have a slight golden brown to them. So let's throw them in here and I'll check them at 9 minutes. Okay, the cookies are in the oven and the sun is going down and you can see their tent back there nestled in some trees. So that'll be some nice cover for me to hide in. I've also recruited the help of James to help scare. He's usually pretty crafty at scaring me, so we'll get them good. You can see that they're slightly underbaked in the center and golden brown on the outside, and they'll continue to bake on the pan for a little bit. So this is how you want them to look. And this is what they look like. Here's a batch of cookies I made using pudding mix, but it's the cooked version. It's the pudding and pie filling. So in this box, it's 175 grams. In the instant one that I usually use, there's 102 grams. So I just measured out 102 grams of this pudding powder and then made the cookies as usual. And this is how they turned out. Thickness of the cookie is, this one's a little bit more thin than the other ones. And we'll see what the texture's like. Compared to the ones using the instant pudding, they're a little bit more thin, but my husband said he liked these ones a little bit better. He loves the other ones, but these ones may be slightly a little bit more chewy. And I did use butterscotch pudding mix instead of the vanilla one that I usually do. I have done them as well with chocolate pudding and chocolate chips, so it's like a double chocolate cookie, so you can do that too. So you can use instant pudding or the cooked pudding and pie filling. So you have a choice. It's showtime. I have your cookies.
Oh my god!
Where's the door?
Here, I'll open it for you.
Okay.
1 second.
There, look at your little setup. You have Lulu in here, you got chips, you got, why'd you bring your plant down? I like it. So there's your cookies. Look at Lulu.
I can hear all these mosquitoes in here. Yeah, that's driving me nuts.
Actually, there's tons of them in here. I can see them. Watch when I put my headlamp on. Look, there's one right there. Oh God, they're everywhere.
Look at them up there.
I know. I'll try to get out faster.
All right. Bye. Bye.
Oh, you're welcome. I love you too, honey.
Are you going now?
I just saw all the light, all the eyes in my headlamp, and I thought it was an animal.
Okay, before we do anything else, we're going on a mosquito killing spree, okay?
Okay. Okay, put your light here. They'll all go to the light.
Do I do that?
I don't know. Oh my god!
So I'm back in the house now after that scare. James was hiding outside the tent with a rabbit in distress call, so he was blowing on that, and it terrified them because I heard them talking about wild animals before and they're worried about coyotes, so that kind of terrified them a little bit. So anyway, thanks for coming along today. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you again next time.